Hi. Okay, so I just thought I'd give everybody a quick update. This won't be a long video. I just got home from having my first fill done. Um, I was, as you know, freaking out. They called my name. I went back, and the nurse was like, "So how are you?" And I was honest. I told her I was really freaking nervous. So she, was kind of going over the process, and I was just, you know, yes, I understand. Um, and then she got out this silver rectangular package and kind of just tore the tip and twisted it just a little. Now, keep in mind, I work in dentistry. I'm not a dental assistant, but in dentistry, scalpels are used, and they come in a package that looks just like that because they're one-time use. They're disposable. We don't sterilize them and reuse scalpels. They reuse the handle. That's it. But like they come in that package. And so she set it there, and I didn't even notice until after she left, and then I saw it. I was just, nobody ever said anything to me about using a scalpel to do a fill. I thought it was just injections. So Dr. Yen came in, and his nurse Joni came in, who I just love to pieces. And he starts talking to me, and I asked him if I could record it, and he said, yes, because, I told him to give me something else to focus on. It'll distract me. Plus, I'm going to want to watch it later because I'll be curious. I do not know at this point in time if I will post it. I might someday in the future, but I'm just not to that point yet. Plus, I don't know how. I just don't know how some of my family members would react to that because I'm not sure that that's something. I just don't know. Okay, but anyway, so very interesting. He got out the little iron, and if you look at that photo I posted, you could see the thing that looks like a little miniature iron in the top left of that corner. It's blue on the top. Anyway, so they're running this iron over my chest, and when they find the magnet and they get right on top of it, it has a light on top that turns green, and they push this little button, and this tiny round plastic piece comes out and just like pokes you in the skin, just like poke, and it leaves a little indentation. That's where they know that they have to put the needle. As you can see, there were two giant syringes there. And so, I relayed all of my fears again to the doctor and to Joni. And I let them know. I said, I'm not worried about the needle going into my skin. That doesn't faze me. I was more scared about how it was going to feel going into my muscle. And then he picks up the scalpel. And then I was just kind of looking at him, and he twists the top off, and he pulls out this really giant Q-tip that was filled with fluid to disinfect my skin, where they were gonna shove the needle through. I've never been so happy to see a Q-tip in my life, you guys. You have no idea. It was just a Q-tip with antibacterial fluid. I almost hugged him. Oh my god, I was just so excited it wasn't a scalpel. Yeah, so then they did all that, and then it was a pretty big needle. Big as in kind of thick, not long. It wasn't very long. I didn't feel it go through the skin at all. I could sort of feel it going through the muscle. I equate it to like when you go to get your teeth cleaned and they're like working on one spot and it's just kind of starting to irritate your gums a little bit. It was kind of like that, but only for a second. And then he handed the giant syringe. You guys saw that photo, right? Those syringes were huge. Gives the giant syringe to Joni, and she just starts, pushing saline solution in. And then he goes over and did the same thing on the other side. So they were tag teaming this, which it took maybe, the whole appointment took like 10 minutes. And Joni, who was doing the right side first, began first, and she was almost done. They put 60 cc's in on both sides, so I'm up to 120 cc's in each breast now. So I don't know, maybe an A cup. I don't know how that works. I only know how the big ones work. Anyway, but it wasn't until she was almost finished filling that I could start to feel the stretch, and I was just like, oh, didn't hurt. It was just weird, and you feel it stretching like at the top, so where the pec muscle is. Don't really feel anything on the bottom. And I should not be surprised by this. The left side hurts, but the left side has been the side that has been hurting since the day of the surgery. It hurts more. It seems like it's taking longer to recover. I have my official report from the breast surgeon. I have my analysis of the breast tissue from the breast surgeon. They did remove more from the left side, so there was more work over there that had to be done. So I think that's why that hurts. But like it hurts like clear down into my elbow, and I did ask them about that before I left. I said, hey, like I just don't feel this in my chest. I also feel it down my arm into my elbow. Is that an issue? And I was reassured that that can be very normal. And they did tell me, just like somebody else told me earlier, that if I get home and it gets really painful, or if that stretching feeling doesn't go away, to call them. I'll go back in and they can remove some of the saline solution if they need to. But yeah, the left side also has like its own heartbeat right now. Like every time I have a pulse going, I can feel sharp pain. And that's just around the incision, and I'm sure that's just from the stretching, which that's going to heal. So I'm not overly concerned about that. It's just kind of like, why isn't the right side doing that too? Why does everything have to hurt on the left? Why can't they just be the same? But yeah, so, and then as soon as I got home, Spooky, who has been sitting on Jason's love seat all day, every day, as soon as I got home and sat down, she came over and she sat on my lap and she started purring, and now she is, here she is. This is how I know that she secretly loves me. She seems to know when I just need a little bit of, just a little extra reassurance, or if I'm just not feeling good, she will just come and sit on me and lay on me and purr. So at least now she's not plotting my murder. But yes, so as always, feel free to ask me any questions. I do feel very stretched at the moment, and it's just like, it's not bad. It's not like trying to drop into your splits if you haven't warmed up enough or anything like that. It's just a stretch that's constant. Oh, and for all of my clients at the gym, I was very specific about asking. Interesting, Jen Brown. Yes, I'm pretty sure that Spooky does plot my murder most days. But I did ask if I could start returning to the gym. I realized that they're not going to, like let me do arm day, chest, bis, tris, back, none of that. But I was like, well, what about leg day? What about cardio? What about stretching? And he was very adamant that I take at minimum another week of doing nothing. So I can't teach stretch next week or anything, and that really sucks. I've already talked with Jason. I'm going to stay with him for another week. I'm going to go get my car, though, at some point before next Thursday. Kind of give that a little test. But yeah, so other than that, it went fine. At least another week of zero activity, so that kind of sucks. But at least I'll still have Jason and the animals around to keep me company. So now I'll say, as always, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. If you're one of my close friends, I'll probably show you the video. It was pretty interesting. But as far as posting it online, I don't know yet if I'm going to do that. Not to say that I never will. I just don't know if I'm going to do that anytime in the near future. Near future being like a couple months. All right. Love you guys. Why are so many of you watching right now? Shouldn't you all still be at work? Like, what do you guys do? Anyway, everybody should tell me what it is that they do for a living, because now I'm really curious. Also, don't get in trouble for watching this at work. I will see you guys next time I do a live video, and please feel free to keep the questions and the positive feedback and the tips coming, because I could use it all. Love everybody. Goodbye.